Hello! In the last several videos, we got the Zora masks, the hookshot, the Zora eggs, and finally the new wave Bossa Nova. At this point, we can enter the next temple by going to Zora Cape, but there's a lot of goodies we can now collect. If you'd like to enter the temple now, go ahead and skip to the very last video of this chapter. Otherwise, stick around with me, cause I'm going to bomb you up. Now that we have the hookshot, there's several pieces of heart that are available to us. You want to go to West Clocktown and enter the trading post here in the middle. If you remember back in the beginning of the game, we spoke with the Scarecrow. You probably don't remember that, but he told us to come back and talk with him once we had our instrument back so that we could show him a groovy tune. While standing next to him, you want to use the Ocarina of Time and he'll express his excitement. You can now create your very own melody. It must be 8 notes in length, and I recommend you make something easy that you can remember. As a recommendation for your Ocarina of Time veterans, you can make it the Bolero of Fire, for example, which is doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Anyway, by creating the Scarecrow Song, you can now summon Pierre at specific places in the world. You want to keep a lookout for places where Tattle flies over and turns blue, a clue that you may be able to use the Scarecrow Song to summon him, in order that you can hookshot to him and then reach otherwise unreachable areas. Now here's the biggest thing that confuses people. You can only summon Pierre after you create the song. What I mean is, if you go back in time now, you have to go and create this song again in order for it to work. So otherwise it will not work at all. So I have to go and create the song with Pierre at the start of a 3-day cycle in order to successfully use it. This confuses everybody about Majora's Mask. And they also have a very similar confusing mechanic about the Scarecrow Song in the previous game, Ocarina of Time. So you'd think they would have learned by this and made it less confusing, but no! It's confusing again. We'll be using that in a moment, but first we're going to snag something nearby really quick. You want to roll out into Termina Field and stock up on arrows and bombs. Once you've done that, you want to roll to the far east, and once you get down to near the far fence in the sandy area just before Great Bay itself, you'll see a lone boulder that is hiding off to the right. You want to either use bombs to blow it up or fire punch it to reveal a hole underneath. Inside, you'll find a new enemy called Biodecubabas. These things are often found in the bottom of lily pads and will chomp on you if you try to jump on them. So if you get on top of the lily pad, they'll flip over and bite you. You want to shoot them with arrows to disconnect them and make them sink to the bottom. Next, you want to use your hero's bow and shoot the far right beehive at the back of the wall. It will fall down and steadily sink, and when it hits the bottom, it will break open to reveal a piece of heart. Use the Zora mask to sink down and defeat the 2 Biodecubabas if you want, and you may want to defend with your shield to get close. But you can either stab them with your fins or use the electric barrier to take them out in one hit, and after that, grab the 24th piece of heart. Next, float to the surface, and it's time to put that Scarecrow Song to use. Get your ocarina ready and soar over to either Mountain Village or Snowhead. Once you get there, go to the area between the two, known as the Road to Snowhead. From here, you can run all the way forward and use a Goron roll to get across the gap. At this middle portion, you want to look out into the distance and you'll see a single platform off there that you couldn't reach before. But how do we get over there? If you use the Lens of Truth, you'll see that there are a ton of invisible ice-speed block platforms again that lead partway to it. You want to jump along them, and once you reach the end, you'll see that Tattle will fly over to the far platform and turn blue. Play the Scarecrow Song I had to create a few minutes ago. This will summon Pierre over there, whom you can now hookshot to. You can speak with him if you wish, but the obvious objective is to collect the 25th piece of heart. Next, slap on that Deku Mask and soar over to Southern Swamp. From here, you can use a bottle in the shallow water here to get fresh spring water. I actually don't think that most people know you can get that here, but it's by far one of the most convenient places to get it. You want to climb up the ladder and speak with the business scrub while wearing the Deku Mask to purchase 1 magic bean. Next, you want to soar over to Great Bay Coast and work your way over to the far northeastern corner. On the far right side of this giant wall, you'll come to a pool of water in the middle. Just above this pool of water, you can use your hookshot to latch onto a target above. Plant the magic bean in the soft soil here, and then you can use the fresh spring water that I had you nab earlier. Alternatively, if you have the Song of Storms, which I do, for example, you could use it to make it rain, which will also cause the bean to grow as well, so that you don't need fresh spring water at all. Ride the plant to the next platform, and up ahead you'll see Tattle will fly over and turn blue. Play the Scarecrow Song and summon Pierre again to hookshot over to the final platform where you'll find the 26th piece of heart. not done yet, my friends. Jump down and go to the pool in the center here. Slap on the Zora mask and begin filling your bottles with fishies. They're somewhat hard to see, but there's a lot of them around here. And there's also several different places in this game where you can get fish to fill up your bottles, but I think this is hands down the best one. There are so many in this one spot that there's even more in the slightly smaller pools to the south as well. So once you have all of your bottles filled with fish, soar back to Great Bay Coast and enter the Marine Research Lab. Inside, turn off to the right and you'll see the fish tank with two spiky red-orange fish that you may have admired earlier. While standing next to the tank, you can press the A button to check it out, and Tattle will give you a hint about what you can do. Want to climb up on top of the tank and empty out the bottles of fish, and one of them will eat it and eventually get big enough to eat the other red-orange fish. It then has a bellyache, I suppose. Maybe it decomposes the other fish and turns it into a piece of heart, which it will then spit out for you so you can collect it. Okay, so it's worth noting that you may have to go back and fill up more bottles of fish. Now, when I play the PAL version of Majora's Mask, which is the European release, that is, I often have to use about 5 or 6 bottles of fish, but this particular USA release that I recorded this walkthrough with only took 4? So, I don't know, but I'm just sending out a little love to all my English viewers out there. Believe me when I say, I feel your pain. So, that's it for this video, folks, so just join me for the next one, and we'll continue this mad collection of stuff in Great Bay Coast. Yeah!